we do have a gentleman who is who's with the local station here in Winnipeg, rather, NCI's Dave McLeod with us here today. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing really great. It's nice to see you guys set up here. It's great to have CFWE in Winnipeg.
You know, thanks for having us here. It's great to be here for this event. This is my first time at the Manito Festival, and I do have to say this is a fine setup that you guys have, and a great festival to enjoy for Indigenous artists from right across this country.
Yeah, last night there was a bit of a jam session, so you get to see some of the top acts from Indian country on stage, jamming it out. And you know what you find here, like there's the Indigenous Music Awards this evening, powwow over the weekend, but you don't see a lot of competition going on between the musicians. There's really a camaraderie here, and people are really here to build each other up. So that was really notable, and a friend of mine mentioned that last night. He's like, this is like such a great vibe in this room, and so that's I think that's good. There used to be the Aboriginal Music Awards that took place in Toronto. Now it's kind of shifted to Winnipeg here, and so it's we get a lot of people coming here. It's a lot less expensive to be in Winnipeg, and a lot of friendly faces, a lot of brown faces here, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and very central for artists to come from the west and from the east, right? Come on down to Winnipeg. You're the most central place, like within the country. Coming together like a big family reunion.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we just, Crystal was just here. It was nice chatting with her a little bit. She gave the keynote yesterday, too. There's an one-day Indigenous music conference, and she shared her experience. And that's something, too, like during the Q&A, a lot of people were learning from her, and just about the industry and believing in yourself, and being so good that people have to take notice. I think that was a real a key message that was drilled yesterday in terms of music. If you're, who's not going to notice you if you're really good and you commit yourself?
Yeah, that's right. And with a lot of these artists, a lot of these up-and-comers, the established ones, and even these ones that are probably thinking, well, I can sing, but how do I get to where those artists are? Well, they come from probably the exact same place where they come from. They're probably from this little small reserve, which can be isolated, back far in the country somewhere. And they can do it. Anybody can succeed.
Yeah, well, we have the Indigenous Music Countdown, so we've had that show's been growing, and the reason it's growing is just because the talent pool and the quality of music is rising. And those community stories that you're referencing are really important, because that connects us as a community when you hear those stories. And you know what, like frankly, the Indigenous community wants to have its own stars too. I mean, you look at Quebec; they have stars. They have their star system there within their community, and that's very true of the Indigenous community. Like, we want to look up to our stars, and that's why gatherings like this are really important. It's kind of like a checklist of who's doing what, and that's what's going on too. A lot of people chatting it up. I'm working on this. I'm working on that, and some people wind up working with each other, coming to an event like this. So
yeah,
a lot of collaborations going on, and I think that's Mob Bounce. They're a popular hip hop group, and they're collaborating. Tribe Called Red just their last album was a lot of collaboration. I've learned as well that in our powwow scene that there's neo-traditional is coming up with powwow, and that is a traditional song but putting contemporary elements in it, not to sound new age, but just to have a different kind of sound. So that even the powwow community, there's a little bit of a shift going on. So I've been learning about that. And Northern Cree were in last night, and they're rock stars. They were just on the Grammy Awards.
Yeah.
They opened up the Grammy Awards, and here's Cree language in front of mainstream music audience. So they came in, and it's like, wow, Northern Cree are here, right? So it's that's the kind of vibe that's going on. So they come in and they're treated, they're respected, obviously, for what they've done. They've made history. So those kind of stories are floating all over the place.
And it's because of an events like this where people are getting together and coming together and networking, are being able to come together with a collaboration.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
where it all starts.
And we'll see what happens in the next year So so there's that kind of unifying vibe going on, and then the next year you see, well, what kind of music came out of that, and where are people going next? So it's reciprocal, and it's growing, and this is just almost like a short check-in. Where are people at?
Yeah.
And you kind of lose your voice like I am right now because you're talking to so many people, wonderful people.